Welcome back. Episode 3, P Star Grub, P Grub, Grub, whatever you want to call it. You know what the title is. You know what this is about. We're here to enjoy food. And I bring to you something new, something I recently started making. My first 2 attempts were pretty successful. Today I'm gonna try something a little bit new in terms of seasoning. So again, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming back. If it's your first time, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna be doing onigiri, which is Japanese rice balls. It's a popular food in Japan. We're going to Japan today. We're going to take you to the land of the rising sun. Japanese rice balls, onigiri, it's been around for, historians say, 1,000 to 2,000 years. So we're making a pretty ancient but easy dish today. And it's very simple. It takes a little bit of time, but it's very simple. I have a lot of ingredients here. You do not need all of these ingredients. I'll break it down for you in a little bit. But pretty much the most important thing is you need rice. Not any kind of rice. Very particular kind of rice. You need short grain rice, white rice, short grain white rice. You can use brown. It's got to be short. It's got to be sushi kind of rice, sticky rice, short grain. We're using white short grain sticky rice today. And I got about 2 cups here. Last time I was making onigiri, I used 2 cups of rice and I was able to make 4 pretty large rice balls out of 2 cups. Today, I'm trying something a little new. I purchased some molds off of Amazon, and they come in 2 different sizes. One is kind of small, the other one's a little bigger, but still kind of small. This size was nowhere near the size that I made last time. Last time, I would say the rice balls I made were probably like this big. Yeah, they were like about this big. So we're gonna make different sizes today. You don't need these molds. I'm just doing it for ease. I wanted to try it out just to make it like a little bit more perfect. But the first 2 times that I made it, they turned out pretty good. Like I said, you don't need the molds. You can make them just strictly by hand. You don't need these at all. This is just extra. And you don't need all these seasonings. I'm just trying something new, and so I'll show you in a minute. I need to rinse the rice. That's very important. And it takes about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, give or take. So I will take breaks throughout the video just to, bypass some time. Don't want to keep you guys that long, but it's just to speed up the process, make the video a little bit more streamlined. We're making 2 different kinds of onigiri today. One will be with spicy salmon. The other one will be with a Japanese pickled plum, which is called umeboshi. Now, umeboshi isn't for everybody. It has a very tangy taste to it, very salty, very, very tangy. It will make you pucker up the first time you try it. I kind of didn't like it when I first bit into it, but it grew on me. It's an acquired taste, but I found it to be pretty delicious after about 2 of them. So we're going to use those as the fillings. Onigiri, you can use, a variety of fillings. You can use chicken, shrimp, avocado, tuna, You can use vegetables. I mean, the list goes on. You can pretty much use whatever you want. But like I said, today we're going to be using salmon. I'm going to make the salmon a little bit spicy. And for the umeboshi, just pickled plum for the other filling. So first though, I want to bring out the salmon, the beautiful salmon. This is wild caught Atlantic salmon, fresh. I did thaw it out. I bought it fresh. I froze it, thawed it out, and we're gonna be rinsing this off, drying it off before we cook that, because we won't be using any raw fish for the onigiri. So let's get the rice rinsed off first, and I'll be right back. So I'm rinsing the rice, and as you can see, the water is very cloudy, and that's normal when you're rinsing rice. What you want to do is keep rinsing the rice until the water's clear. And for 2 cups of this rice, it'll take me about 10 minutes to get it where I want it. So we'll do that, and I'll do a cut right here and bring it back. That took a long time. I don't know how good you can see, but the rice is pretty clear. This is the longest part, probably the hardest part, honestly, is rinsing the rice. You want to get the rice, the water to be clear as you're rinsing the rice, and it takes a little bit of time. But once it's clear, then you drain it, and you're good to go. So as you see, we got the rice drained. Look at how much bigger the rice is, like compared to how you seen it while it was dry. Like it almost looks like it's cooked just from rinsing it. So you want to make sure that you get the starch out of the rice. That's very, very important when you're cooking it. And, you know, based on how much rice you're making, it can take a little bit of time to get all the starch out. But once the water's pretty clear, then, you know that it's good to go. So you want to just rinse and repeat, rinse, drain, and repeat, rinse, drain, and repeat. And, swirl the rice around with your hands, while you're rinsing it to get it nice and the water nice and clear. You'll lose a few grains in the process, but that'll be all right. You'll still be good at the end of the day. So we got our rice done. Where I live, the water quality isn't too good, faucet water. So what I like to do is try not to consume it, ingest it as much as possible. I clean with it. I wash dishes and shower with it. But in terms of like drinking it and using cooking, I try to avoid that. So once I drain the water, what I like to use is some purified water. So what I'll be doing is I'll be filling up the water with some of this, natural spring water, purified. You don't want to use alkalinized water. Definitely not a high alkaline. So nothing really over 8. If you're going to use alkaline water, you want to stay between 7 and 8 pH. All right, so we're going to fill that up. It's very important when you're cooking rice to make sure your measurements are right. So if we had 2 cups of white rice, we want to use 2 cups of water. You want to make sure it's very, very accurate. That's how you're going to get the best quality of rice. So let me shake that around a little bit. Yeah, we're right there at the 2 mark. So I'm using a Zoji. How you say this? Zojirushi. I'm using the Zojirushi to cook the rice. So I used to cook rice the old-fashioned way. Sometimes it would turn out good, sometimes it would turn out bad. Then I moved on to a think it was a Black and Decker rice cooker, and that worked for a little bit, and then it just kind of stopped working. So I was in the market for a rice cooker. You don't need to use one. I use one just because it makes the perfect rice. It does exactly what it says. What it advertises is perfect rice every time, and as long as you follow the directions, it will do that. And Zojirushi is a good brand. It's one of the most famous brands out there, and they're known for their quality and long life. So that's what I'll be using to cook this rice in, and it comes out perfect every time. So since we got that squared away, it'll take about an hour to cook the rice. And for the fish, what we're going to do with that is we're going to rinse that off and dry that. So let me do that, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're about to get the rice started cooking. That's going to take an hour. So you don't want to cook the fish until, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes before the rice is done cooking if you want everything hot together. But before we cook the rice and deal with the fish and all that, I just wanted to break down the ingredients here to you. Now, like I was saying, there's a lot of ingredients here, and you don't need any of these. All you really need is the salt. I have iodized salt here that I'm gonna use for the rice itself. This pink salt here, I'm gonna use for the fish. Now, the reason I'm not putting the pink salt in the rice is because it's too coarse, and the grinder here doesn't make the salt fine enough for the rice. So I'll be using just regular, iodized table salt. It's about if you're not gonna go the route that I'm going with all these ingredients, right? And you don't have to. Like I said, I'm trying something new tonight. I might not like it, I might love it. For you guys, if you don't want to use these ingredients, the main thing that you need is this table salt. Iodized or not, but table salt. And you can use that for the the rice and the fish as well. Or you don't have to put salt on your fish if you don't want to. But I'm just using two different salts for the fish. So the pink salt and the iodized salt for the rice. You're going to use a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half for the 2 cups of cooked rice. And that's about it. These other ingredients here, break them down to you. We're gonna have some Old Bay on the fish. Old Bay and seafood is like butter and popcorn. They just go together. This red stuff right here is just ground up red pepper. So I'm gonna use that to be, sprinkle on the rice ball for the spicy salmon. This green stuff right here is called furikake. And it's a seasoning that includes a lot of stuff like dried seaweed, fish, egg, salt, MSG, like all kinds. It's a really pretty big blend of stuff. If you can see that there. This right here is dried fish flakes, bonito. I'm gonna be throwing that in with the fish. For the umeboshi, I'm gonna be using the furikake. I'm use the furikake and the umeboshi rice balls. Everything else, the Old Bay, the red pepper, the fish flakes, is going for the spicy salmon. Now I also have some Scorpion Tabasco here. As you can see, Scorpion Tabasco. That's to give it a really, really spicy kick. I haven't tried this sauce in the spicy salmon yet, and you don't need much of it at all, as you can tell. It's Scorpion sauce. It it's not a fake advertisement. It definitely has scorpion pepper in it. That's the first ingredient, actually. You see that? Scorpion pepper, the very first ingredient. So it's very spicy. You don't need much of it at all. For tonight, first time I'm gonna be mixing the rice vinegar, which is unseasoned. There are seasoned vinegars. This is just your run-of-the-mill sodium-free, sugar-free rice vinegar. And salt and sugar, which is what you see here. Now I have 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I'm gonna be using 4 tablespoons of rice vinegar. We're gonna whisk that together in a pan, and that mixture is gonna go on the cooked rice. Again, you guys don't need to use any of this stuff except the salt for the rice when it's done. You don't want just bland, plain rice balls. Like, the salt will give it a little bit of taste. But all this extra stuff is just stuff that I'm using because I haven't tried it yet. So it's just something new that I'm doing. And when I first made rice balls, salt was the only ingredient besides the fish. And well, the first time I made tuna, and the second time I made salmon. But the first and second time that I used that I made rice balls, I was using just salt for the rice and the regular fillings for the rice balls. All this other stuff, don't fret if you don't have it. It's not needed. I'm just going the extra mile. So, like I said, we're gonna whisk together this salt and sugar mixture and rice vinegar together. That's gonna go on the rice to give it a extra kick, a extra level of flavor. The red pepper, bonito flakes, the scorpion hot sauce, and the the Old Bay is gonna go on the salmon, the spicy salmon rice balls. The furikake by itself is gonna go for the umeboshi. So furikake for the umeboshi, the pickled plum rice ball, Old Bay, red pepper, bonito, Tabasco for the salmon. But all together, this rice vinegar, salt, and sugar mixture will go on all of the rice. But you guys don't need it. Only the salt if you want to keep things plain and simple. So we're going to get the rice started, and it'll take about an hour, and we'll be back. All right, so about to start the rice, and it's going to take about an hour. So let's get that started. One hour. You know that song? Okay, so now that the rice has a few minutes left, we got the broiler heating up for the salmon. Let's get the salmon prepared. So just gonna take a little bit of olive oil. We'll rub him in there. I'll take pink salt. Now I'm gonna grind this up. Just gonna let that fall in place. didn't use that much. I didn't grind it up, so it was barely coming out. I'm gonna use blackened Old Bay on this. This is not regular Old Bay, but blackened Old Bay. A nice coat. That should be good enough. Now we're gonna transfer this salmon to our pan here. I don't have a broiler pan, but baking sheet should do good enough. I'm gonna throw that in the broiler, check on it for about 10 minutes or so. Maybe 15, it depends how it goes. Let's throw this in the sink here. Now, I have some plastic wrap here, cling wrap. And what this is for is I'm not sure how much rice balls I'll be able to make, being as though I have, two molds here. Like I said, last time I made about 4 large sizes out of 2 cups of rice. So the cling wrap here is to individually wrap some and save them for later. I'm gonna throw them in the freezer. They're good for about a month. You take them out, let them defrost in the fridge overnight, and then you can heat them in the microwave or throw them in the pan and give them a nice little sear. That's what I like to do. Although a piece of my phone case came off there. So that's what I like to do. I like to give it a little sear. Gives the outer texture a nice little crispiness to it. And that's what the cling wrap is for, is to individually wrap the rice balls. But also, for you guys that want to make your own nigiri without the molds, what you'll do is you'll take a dish like this, something small, right? And you'll put a layer of cling wrap inside. So you'll have it spread out and you'll press down the middle. And what you'll do is you'll put some rice in here. You'll put your filling, and then you'll put some rice on top, and you'll fold the cling wrap and mold the rice ball to your preferred shape. Generally, it is like a snowball shape or a triangle shape. We'll be making triangle shapes, but if you can't get that exact mold right with your hands, that's all right. You can make a snowball shape if you want. You can make any shape you like, but I have the molds for that just to make it easier. So we got the fish cooking, the rice is almost done, and we'll finish it up. So rice is done. Wow, look at that. How perfect that rice looks, man. It's perfect rice. Every time. Every time. All right, so we're gonna get that rice out and we're gonna transfer it to these 2 bowls right here. Just to flatten them out. but also to apply the mixture of the rice vinegar, the salt, and the sugar. So we transferred the rice. We're gonna let that cool while we're getting ready for the fish and gonna make this vinegar mixture here. So we got the pan heating up. We're gonna add 4 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Throw that up in there. We're gonna whisk that till the sugar dissolves. You don't want it boiling. Be a little careful with the heat. Okay, salmon's almost done. The sugar and salt is completely dissolved. This small pan I have here doesn't have a handle, as you can see, because it broke off, and I don't know how to fix it yet. But what we're gonna do is put that mixture on the rice. So let's do that. It's very strong smell. But vinegar's like that. So let's check that fish. Once the fish is done, you just kind of chop it up in the bite-sized pieces and put it in a little dish. I'll use that dish that showed you guys earlier. Let's get the pickled plum out. Umboshi, pickled plums. Not sure how many I'm gonna use yet. For the big rice balls, at first I used 1, and then I was like, 1 isn't enough, so I ended up using 2. But depending on how many I can make here. Now these do have the pits in them, and the pits need to be removed. So let's just try 4 for now. Make sure that fish isn't burning in the broiler. I think it's just about done. Let's take that fish out. Looks pretty good, huh? Maybe a few more minutes. Let's do a few more minutes on there. Not too long. Just a few more minutes. Let's get the mixture onto the rice here. Probably need a fork. Fluff the rice up a little bit. This pan's a little warm. Do about half and half. That's that. Let's fluff that rice up a little bit. You want to be delicate with the rice. You don't want to destroy it. Just fluff it up a little bit. Let the vinegar settle into the rice. Real delicate. You don't need to mash the rice. Drop some rice here. Gonna eat that. Oh, wow. Wow, that gives the rice a way different taste. And it's really good. It's sweet. It's salty, but not overbearing. And that's what you don't want, is overbearing. It's a very unique taste. I think I will, from now on, make that mixture. Okay, our fish is definitely done. Almost forgot about it. That's what we're looking like. All right, so we're gonna let. So now we're pretty much done. Just gotta get the pits out of the umeboshi. It's really simple to do. Break that apart. Keep the pit to the side. And so you want to kind of spread the umeboshi a little bit so that it just kind of fills out the rice ball a little better. There you go, you got your umeboshi right there. And we're gonna wanna chop up the salmon. We'll let it cool down a little bit, but what I wanna do is I want to season the rice. The rice is cooling down nice. So remember, we're gonna use one for the umeboshi, and we're gonna use the other for the spicy salmon. Let's get a little measuring spoon out here. And for the other one, just fluff it around a little bit. And that mixture does something special, man. Like making the rice balls like regular compared to how I made them tonight, completely different. Completely different. Better. Get that mixed up nice. And then here comes the fun part. Put that to the side real quick. Let's get the salmon chopped up. Remember, you're just gonna bite-size pieces for this. This is gourmet at its finest, man. Looks perfect. I do want to eat this little piece back here. Yeah, crunch. Salmon tastes good. Now, the last ingredient for the salmon is going to be the scorpion sauce. I think what I'm going to do is put a very small amount in the middle of the rice ball. That way it doesn't overpower. So let's start with the big ones. I'm a little hungry. Okay, so use our red ones for the salmon. And we're going to take a spoon, put him in there, fill it out. Not too much because you want to leave space for the filling. Flatten it down a little bit. Let's see how it. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of salmon. Put that right in the middle. That might be a little too much salmon, but don't want to mush it down. Be real gentle with it. Close it. Press down. And that's a perfect rice ball. Look at that. That is perfect. Wow. Forgot a very important ingredient, folks. And that's nori, seaweed. You definitely want that for your rice ball. It completes it. Cut it into strips. You can wrap the whole rice ball in it, whatever you like. But I'm gonna show you real quick how it looks with the kind that I made. So you cut you off a nice little sheet, and you just wrap it around, just like that. Take a little bite. Delicious. And so we were gonna take some of the scorpion because it's not spicy enough, and we're going to drop a little bit right in the middle there. That is all the scorpion you need. That might be too much, but that's what I'm gonna rock with. So with the larger mold, I was able to make about 5 rice balls. I ate one, and here are the other 4. I mean, they're beautiful, man. I mean, they're perfect. I have a lot of salmon left, but I'll just go ahead and eat that. Save these for later, wrap these up, throw these in the freezer. But let's go ahead and make the umeboshi ones. So I have a lot on my mind. I forgot completely to put the bonito flakes, as you see right here, in the salmon rice balls. But I'm gonna just put them in the umeboshi ones instead. So it's not a big deal, but just kind of slipped my mind. So we're starting to make the umeboshis now, and probably get probably another 5 out of these. Let's see. Okay, so a little bit overshot here on the ingredients. We have 2 umeboshi left, a little bit of rice left, and I was able to get about 4 out of there. So not bad. Altogether, I made about 9 rice balls, 5 salmon, 4 umeboshi. I'm about to eat one of these now. Wrap the rest up, throw them in the freezer in an airtight container, and kind of just snack on them whenever I want them. They're good for about a month. But I think everything turned out pretty good. They look pretty great. Don't wrap these in seaweed if you're gonna store them. It'll mess up the quality, the texture of the seaweed. And if you open a brand new bag of seaweed, you can just kind of reseal it and put it in the fridge to keep it fresh. But other than that, man, that was onigiri, episode 3 of P-Star Grub. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna eat the rest of this rice, probably sprinkle them flakes in there, put these in the freezer after I eat one, and call it a night, man. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll see you in the next one. Remember, love first, grub later. Peace out.